Revelation 12. Okay. So now, there was a battle in the heavens. You recall the battle in the heavens?
Let me see. Yeah, that's the vision of... The Revelation is a tricky book because it's
yeah.
It's symbol.
Oh, yeah.
It's symbol. It's all...
signs and symbols.
It's written in a... And there's a lot of things in the Bible that are like we couldn't understand unless God put it in such a way, like seated at the right hand of God. Well, God is spirit, and we live and move in God. We are in God, like God is everywhere present. God, there's nowhere that you can hide from God. The heavens, even the heavens of the heavens can't contain you. He created the heavens, so that he's not like stationary in one place. So like when it says Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Well, where does God sit? Is there a one location where God is actually physically? He's not physical. First of all.
Well, no, you remember in Ezekiel talk about him being on a chariot, and he can go in any direction he wants it to go.
Now over the heads of the living beings there was something like an expanse, like the awesome gleam of crystal, spread out over their heads. Under the expanse their wings were stretched out straight, one toward the other. Each one also had two wings covering its body on the one side and on the other. I also heard the sound of their wings like the sound of abundant waters as they went, like the voice of the Almighty, a sound of tumult like the sound of an army camp. Whenever they stood still, they dropped their wings. And there came a voice from above the expanse that was over their heads. Whenever they stood still, they dropped their wings. Now above the expanse that was over their heads there was something resembling a throne, like lapis lazuli in appearance, and on that which resembled a throne, high up, was a figure with the appearance of a man. Then I noticed from the appearance of his loins and upward something like glowing metal that looked like fire all around within it, and from the appearance of his loins and downward I saw something like fire, and there was a radiance around him. As the appearance of the rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the appearance of the surrounding radiance. Such was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell on my face and heard a voice speaking.
But to go to Revelation, just to stay on track with that for a moment, in chapter 12, verse 5, it says, beginning with verse 5, and she gave birth, that is, the heavens gave birth to a son, a male, who is to shepherd all the nations with an iron rod, and her child was snatched away to God and to his throne.
Hold on.
And then it says,
the first.
The woman.
You on the first verse here?
No. I'm on verse 5.
Well, the first of all, a great sign appeared in heaven: a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. Does that remind you of anything? Like Joseph's dream? The sun and the moon and the stars bowed down to me. And what was that? Jacob, right? Jacob said, "Are you saying that your mother and I are going to bow down to you, or that I'm going to bow down to you?" So, like, the woman, who's the woman clothed with the sun, the moon, and the stars? Is that? Are we talking? What is that? That's the symbol.
That's Jehovah's heavenly kingdom.
A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars.
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom.
And she was with child, and she cried out, being in labor and in pain to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his heads were 7 diadems. And his tail swept away a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom.
Was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth he might devour her child. And she gave birth to a son, a male child, who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Then the
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom
fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared by God, so that there she would be nourished for 1260 days. And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels waging war with the dragon. The dragon and his angels waged war. And they were not strong enough, and there was no longer a place found for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world, he was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven, saying, Now the salvation, and the power, and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come, for the accuser of our brethren has been thrown down, he who accuses them before our God day and night. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their testimony, and they did not love their life even when faced with death. For this reason, rejoice, O heavens and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom,
who gave birth to the male child. But the 2 wings of the great eagle were given to the
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom,
so that she could fly into the wilderness to her place, where she was nourished for a time and times and half a time, from the presence of the serpent. And the serpent poured water like a river out of his mouth after the
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom,
so that he might cause her to be swept away with the flood. But the earth helped
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom,
and the earth opened its mouth and drank up the river which the dragon poured out of his mouth. So the dragon was enraged with
Jehovah's heavenly kingdom,
and went off to make war with the rest of her children, who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus.